Looks really sleek. First thing I noticed off the bat is these lines are more prominent, and then the bottoms just really looks like it's stable and sleek. The GT's a cool name too, I like. So first look when I set it down, it looks relatively similar to the TSR. Yeah, the main thing I noticed is these sight lines kind of right here on the face.
Cool.
Hit a few.
Send it.
It's got a good noise.
I like that sound.
Here you go.
Felt pretty fast off the face. Start line was really nice too.
Yeah, start line was great. Good start line again,
Yeah.
falling right.
I like that. It almost looks a hair flatter, the ball flight too.
Yeah.
We're up to 192.
That was
So your
nice.
gamer was around 191.
Can't beat that. Better start line, better
Yeah.
flight, more speed. It's a good start, Scott.
Club head
Usually
speeds
works.
up a couple miles an hour too.
Nice there.
It almost felt like a push, and it started like 6
No, it
inches
kind
right
of
of the
held
other
in
one.
there, didn't it?
It's a very similar launch window, but one thing I'm noticing here, and I'm curious if you can see it in the ball flight, but spin rates on a fade with your gamer, the TSR2, were upwards of 3,000.
Yeah,
We're managing those spin rates a little bit better
Yeah, for
with
sure.
GT.
that one almost looked spinny, and the spinner
Yeah,
was
so
still really good.
2600 on that was,
Well, look at
was
the
pretty good for
dispersion
the
pattern
flight.
too. Those 3 shots. Look at them. You can put a blanket on them. Makes aiming a little easier.
I like how you can see the face really well too. That's one thing I noticed when looking down at it. It frames the ball really nicely.
That one a tick Healy,
I mean, a smidge, but I feel like the ball flight
but it
was
didn't have as much curve as the.
No.
Oh, I did it. You go.
the spin rate.
Yeah,
still
that's a
seemed
good one to measure. So
Good.
that heel shot with TSR2 was in 3000s. That was just over
And he
2,500 RPMs.
still kept
and-
192 ball speed.
And your left to right dispersion
Yeah.
is pretty tight, right?
Yeah, that was nice. Hit that one again.
Yep. Be a good one to see because that's kind of the same.
Yeah. But like even that's only if I picked the right target, that's still in the fairway, and it felt
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
no,
push, you know?
100%.
So slightly low heel, right?
Yeah, just a smidge.
So our ball speed's at 193 with GT. That strike with TSR2 was 190.
yeah, and that's still like
190.
look at
And
the
the
spin
spin
rates too.
faster.
2600 versus 3000.
So the misses are even faster. And let's face it, your kind of safety shot on the golf
Yeah.
course is a little in the heel, a little fade.
But like usually if I'm aiming down the left, it's still fine, you know.
Yep.
So which is nice.
His thing was he didn't really have a what you'd put, if I put a gun to his head, a go-to, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So we kind of tried to get him to hit a tee down low cut shot, which would have, he'd set up closer to it, so he would just stay really low and then it would squeeze and obviously it would have some spin to hold in there. He has no problem on the just letting it go swings and then a stock, but it was more about, okay, what's a shot when you're uncomfortable that we can create for you to hit? Now, obviously, everyone's about with drivers, oh, you want, you got a ball, you got
Yeah.
one. You want low spin, but the reality is when you get up, when the ball speeds he's in, spin is actually your friend. And he likes a fade, so that ball's going to hang in there with the fade. We get that spin too low, now we have a problem, but we don't want so much spin that now you lose the distance. So there's that, kind of get that spin loft right. So anyway, the balance, it's all about balance, right? And like getting it right for the player, but in his case, giving him different shots he can hit, because he's got to obviously shape it. I mean, if anything, he has golf courses where he has to dial it down a little bit versus maxing it out. So let's see one of those lower ones, sort of little tee down shot, closer to it.
Yeah. What do we want my start line kind of at?
I think in that left-hand tree, and then we want to bleed it to kind of the middle tree.
Okay.
That little one in the center. Just make sure you aim far enough left. There you go. So that was just probably a touch too much swinging left. Just trust the setup's going to make the ball do what you want. That's better. That's what we want. One that starts left and then bleeds into the fairway.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was really good. So 2,500 spin, that's great. Anything you can do to make that better, do you think? From a fitting perspective.
I would argue that that is almost ideal, because here he is trying to hit down on a little bit more, bring the launch down, but we're not losing spin with that flatter ball flight. He still needs that 2,600 RPMs of spin to keep it in the air and keep it downrange.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it's launching at 6. So, I mean, that's kind of what we want. All right, let's go the other end of the spectrum. Let's hit one on a par 5, fairly open hole. You can swing freely.
Do we want to cut? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Just go with your go-to. Make sure that ball's in a good position. Let's just check that out. That works most places. Where'd you hit that in the face?
Pretty good.
Yeah, so
really good.
Yeah,
And there's the spin rate I'm talking about. So the one he sends it on brings his launch window up to just over 11, but he didn't add any real spin. It only came down 100 RPMs.
So the ball's going to hang in the air. Obviously, that's what you want. It's really good, but it's spinning enough to where his ball's still going to bleed right. He's got some control. All right, let's hit one. Let's let the head out a little bit. One sort of. You're going to swing hard. Let's just see what we get.
Still a cut or more kind of straight?
Definitely. Well, you'd probably go to the cut, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So just go like last hole, NCAA's wide open hole. You've got 1-shot lead.
A little adrenaline.
Adrenaline's flowing. Ball go far. So that's your, that puts you in the 130, 193. With still that spin hanging in there, which is fantastic.
It's only fluctuating a couple hundred RPMs in all the different windows.
Yeah, which is wonderful.
And if we look at distance on that one versus the furthest one you hit with your TSR2, you're going to be happy you're probably still the longest player in golf. Right? 192.
But I got to end on a good one.
So that's the one I get critical on, but he likes to see it right. That's why I tried that upright set.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think his comfort level as a player is knowing that that's the error. He's going to hedge aiming more left.
Just
and
let
it go, yeah.
I don't know, zip pretty far.
Love it.
That was it, really good. Yeah,
Did you change anything about that, other than the fact that you can't take it home with you today?
That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, 315 carry.
6-yard cut. pretty
Yeah.
perfect.
93 ball speed. I mean, that's ideal.
Yeah, almost money.
Really, really good.
You know my address.
A mile an hour plus faster
Yep.
ball speed. We all agree that the dispersion's a lot tighter,
Yep.
right? And the spin rate is a lot more manageable,
it's really
right?
tight.
It doesn't fluctuate as much. The high spins and the low spins
Yeah,
aren't as drastic.
Perfect recipe.
usually works.
You want to play it this week?
Yeah, I'll take it with me.